We're going here. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's the Big Bearded Nerdcast. I want to say, welcome back to a friend of the show, Ron, sitting in with us for the second time. How you doing, Ron?
Good, good. Glad to be here.
All right, thanks. And obviously, I'm here, and Jake's here. We also have a special guest tonight. Last week, we saw the debut of a new parody video, kind of blown up on the internet. We hear it's been featured on Good Morning America as well. Video is a parody of the Jason Derulo hit single "Talk Dirty to Me." Celebrates kind of everything we're about, nerd and geek culture. We're here with the creator, writer, co-star of Talk Nerdy to Me, K-Face. K-Face, how you doing tonight?
Great. Thanks for having me on the show, guys. It's exciting.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. Thanks for coming on. Jake was the kind of driving force behind getting you on here, so I'm just going to turn this over to Jake and let him kind of steer things going forward.
All right.
All right. Well, K-Face, thanks again so much for coming on with us. It's pretty exciting to see something like this that, we call ourselves the Big Bearded Nerds, and, it's something as, we're kind of in our second life, I like to say, instead of a midlife crisis, kind of a midlife awakening. And, I grew up in a culture where, in a time where nerds were not celebrated. We were beaten up, and some of that still goes on, but a lot of the things that we call a part of our nerd culture and our geek culture, the video games, cosplay, comics, comic movies, sci-fi, fantasy, all that stuff that we were once derided for is now celebrated, and I think that's what was so awesome when I saw the link on Reddit. And I click play on the video, and then I hit replay, and then I hit replay again, and then I hit replay again, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm probably responsible for about 5% of your total views on YouTube.
For that.
So, and then I saw your contact information on there, and I reached out to you right away because I said, we got to talk to this guy.
Yeah.
And, I'm really impressed by the fact that you take the original song. The original song is very much a what I would describe as hypersexual, both in the lyrics and the video. And your song and the video is like the antithesis of that. In addition to talking about the nerd stuff, it's like completely, it's the opposite end of that. Was that a deliberate choice you made when writing the song and coming up with the video concept?
Honestly, it wasn't necessarily like something that was like in the front of my mind of I'm gonna make this as like, not like hoochie mamas dancing around in short skirts type thing. More, I was just trying to like. I had the idea of Talk Nerdy to Me, like, oh, this would be such a good parody. I should get, like, all this stuff, all these references and culture things and that people love, that like us, and just get them in a song that sounds really well, that sounds really good too, so that it can kind of be celebrated and enjoyed on a music level and visually, that looks really well too. Like all the different things that people love that, I wrote in the lyrics is also visually expressed there, so that people could just kind of enjoy all of it no matter where they come from in the nerd world. And that's kind of my thinking behind it. Though looking at it, you're not actually the first person to notice that I didn't like sexualize women or kind of objectify them at all in this. I'm not really one to do that. It's not something I believe in, and so I guess subconsciously I didn't think to do that, and so I don't know. I appreciate you noticing because I like that that came out in it.
Yeah, I think. I was actually too. We'll get to the comments that showed up on the video here in a little bit, but just briefly, a lot of the comments were comparing you to some other similar parody videos, And I watched a couple of the other ones, and I just they felt very cliche to me in using that kind of cosplay, um, you know, just bad stereotypes of nerds. Like they just want to stare at women kind of thing. And that was, like you said, that was the opposite of what your video was. But the thing that I loved about your video was just that you mentioned that you wanted to take the song and make it listenable. And I told Jake earlier when we were talking about this, the original song, that Jason Derulo song, is kind of a guilty pleasure of mine, just because it's got a great beat to it, a great sound. And yeah, and then yours hit it like perfect. It kept all the stuff that the parts that I loved, and then it just made it on something that was much more enjoyable. Yeah. And just the way you mixed in little references, like I told Jake, that Mario jump gets me every freaking time I watch that video. It's like that puts it over the top for me. So that was something that was just awesome. So well done. So.
Oh yeah, no. Thank you. I appreciate that.
What?
Very similarly in the song, like I loved the original, like kind of guilty pleasure wise, because it's such a good danceable song.
Yeah.
It's something I want to listen around people because it has super like dirty lyrics half the time.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to hear 2 Chainz talking about inappropriate things.
Yeah, I can't listen to that in the car with my kids.
Right.
I can listen to yours in the car with kids. So yeah. How did I'm gonna back up just a little bit though. How did the video come about? Can you kind of tell a little bit about how?
Yeah. So
how it came up and.
So I've actually, this isn't my first music video. I've dabbled in like videography and music videos for years actually. I made like for fun music video lip sync things at when I was a lifeguard supervisor at a water park I used to work at, and all the lifeguards loved it, and it was a lot of fun doing it there. And I did one with my family, my brothers, last year just for fun. It was actually a 2 Chainz song, the one "I'm Different."
Yep.
We didn't think the lyrics were very, I don't know, intelligent for that, and so we kind of wrote our own little parody, kind of making fun of the whole song, and and we just kind of posted it up for fun, and that's all it was. But then, so like I said, I've always wanted to get kind of better camera equipment. It's something that's always kind of been a dream of mine, to like get really good camera equipment and make really good looking stuff and put it out there. So I don't know, through a series of events, I've managed to get a hold of really good camera equipment and things like that, and so I was kind of poised to do something grander than what I've done in the past. This year specifically, beginning of this year is when I acquired like a good Canon camera, lenses, like all that jazz. And so February, I saw a post on Facebook of somebody, and it was like Nintendo, like original Nintendo, but sheets. Like their comforter was like a gigantic, control, and the pillow covers, like all of that. And I was like, that's awesome. And then the hashtag on it was "Talk Nerdy to Me," and I was like, that's funny. And then it clicked in my mind, oh, that would be a really funny parody on the Jason Derulo song, which was just starting to like blow up right then. And so I started having a couple ideas in my head, and I've dabbled in lyrics and rap actually also for 6-7 years. I grew up in California and on hip hop and rap. Like that's one of the big things I listen to. And so I started playing around with some lyrics in my head, like, oh, that would be kind of funny to do something like that, and like, oh, the Konami code, maybe use something like that in there, that would be funny. And I was like,
and that's a great thing to bring up, the Konami code, because that was a point of contention on the Reddit comments in particular.
Yeah.
And I got it. I'm not a lyricist. I can't sing and I can't rap. Anything that has to do with music other than listen to it, I can't do. But I can appreciate it. And, as a writer, I understand that, trying to make things fit into a certain way. So, I got it. But, yeah, I thought that was interesting that whole Konami code was kind of a major point of contention with people on Reddit.
When I explain it, like, okay, like, I understand, but like one guy said, like, well, we wouldn't really be nerds if we weren't sticklers about things, like, yeah, that's kind of true too. So it's a balancing act with that.
It's all about the tone of the comment too. If you're just being a jerk and
Right.
being a jerk about it. It's one thing, but yeah, part of being a nerd is calling people out on being wrong. And Jake's real good about doing that kind of thing. He did it in the middle of our podcast last week when I made a mistake and he called me out in front of everybody. So
Yes, I did.
that we get that. But how did you get all the people involved with this video?
Oh, luck, favors. So back when I had the idea and I was like playing around in my head, I literally sat on it for several weeks. I didn't like take myself seriously with it, you know? And so I was like, it'd be fun to do that. And then a couple days later, oh, that would be kind of fun to do with it too, you know? And then I was like, this could do really well if I actually made it, but I would have to make it right. And then I started, how would I be able to make it right? And I was like, looking at other successful YouTube videos, parodies, all that jazz. But, you know, elements that I deduced from their success, but kind of breaking them down to like what would lead to a successful one, you know?
Yep.
Was like as professional as possible video quality, production, and like sound quality. Like a lot of the you know, big, well done YouTube videos and songs that blow up, like they're downloadable songs that you would listen to without the video, you know?
Yeah.
Weren't recorded in a kitchen on an iPhone, you know? They were like mixed, like in a studio. So they sound amazing, you know, things like that. And so I was like, I want to do that with this. If I do it, I'm going to do it right, and I'm going to take the time to do it like that. And so I was like, well, that needs a really good singer, which I am not. I was like, if I'm going to do this, I need somebody who could pull off the kind of white and nerdy but can sing like Jason Derulo.
Yeah.
In my head. And so I was like, all right, I know a guy like that, Keith. The other guy, Keith Evans. He and we were in a show together. I've done musical theater for many years as well, and things like that. I'm a good ensemble singer. I'm not a great like soloist by any means. Not like him. He can kill it. And so we were in a show just at the end of last year, actually. And so I just wrote him on Facebook or something for fun. I was like, hey man, I got this crazy idea to do this parody video. Talk nerdy to me, and you know, it'd kind of be like this, and I need a really good singer. Would you be interested? And he's like, I think that sounds awesome. I was like, oh, okay then. If you're on board, then I've got a killer singer, and I can do the rap part, and I'll write all the lyrics, and let's start working on this. And that same night, I wrote down all the lyrics. As soon as he was on board, my creative juices started flowing, and I just busted them all out. It took about 5 hours. I got done about 1:30 in the morning, and I emailed him, and I was like, here are the lyrics for the video. Yes, I have been working on this for the last 5 hours straight. And yeah, so he came over. We set up a little recording booth in my bedroom on my desk, like totally get a foam around a microphone thing plugged into my MacBook. And I've done music production, actually, since I do DJ work as well. And so I hadn't done a lot of vocal processing, though. So I actually spent several hours watching tutorials on YouTube on how to mix and EQ vocals. Yeah, that's the kind of work I put into this.
Absolutely.
And it shows, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and so, like I said, I wanted to do it right. Like, I wanted to put in all the little extra details in the back there, like all the little like whoop whoop and what, like all those little things in the background, sprinkles they're called. I wanted all of that in there so it would sound legit. And Keith came over. It took probably his stuff took a couple days. My stuff took a couple days too, and then I spent probably about 2 weeks mixing it all and getting it to like a done final like song, and that was just the song. And then it was like, okay, now we have to schedule out video shoot. And
I'm guessing that took for freaking ever.
Yeah, because I had to schedule around a lot of people's like schedules.
Yeah.
And things like that, and costumes was another thing. Like, I actually contacted a friend who I knew had a Harley Quinn costume, and I was like, hey, would you be interested in shooting a music video that's titled this? I hadn't written anything yet. And she's all like, oh yeah, that would be super fun. She's kind of a theater person too. And so I put in the Harley Quinn line just because I knew she had a costume that I could use in the video.
That's great.
Yeah. So she's been awesome too. I mean, she's loved working on this. And anyway, and so it was once I had the song done, and it was sounding pretty good. I sent it to some of my dancing friends. They were dancers in the ensemble in the same show that Keith and I were in actually at the end of last year, to recruit them to like do their own dance. I was like, guys, we're shooting an actual like legit music video for this song. I need dancers. Come up with something 30 seconds long that I can splice in to the music video. And they actually came up with the Mario jump thing themselves. Yeah.
That was fantastic.
That's
just
because I was like, here's the first verse, just do it over the first verse, and then I'll cut you guys in around that. And then they put in that thing. I was like, oh, that's so going in there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, and they're like, I'm consider myself really lucky I got them, because they were like, they're not necessarily like the big nerdy types. I thought they might not totally be down with it. They'd be like, this sounds kind of dumb, like not really our thing. But they're like, yeah, I just told them, I was like, just come out for like an hour and a half one Saturday to this spot, and like we'll film, and that's all I need from you guys, and we'll make it quick, just to kind of like make it easier on them, so I could get them involved. But now they're like obviously loving it and stuff, and and one of the stormtroopers in it is one of my good friends. We were missionaries together actually down in Bolivia, and since then he's like one of the big like Star Wars stormtrooper guys out here in Utah, and he's like the head of a faction.
501st?
Right, part of the 501st.
Yeah, he's part of the 501st and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey man, I'm shooting this video, here's the song, and he loved it, of course, and was like, oh yeah, I'll recruit anybody I can, and he got one of his friends to come, and so they were the stormtroopers in the video with me, and I threw it up on Cosplay Utah and was like, hey guys, I need as many suited up people as possible for this video shoot, and two people showed up from that. Which is funny, because now people are like, hey, put me in your next video, and I'm like, yeah.
So you're not going to have a problem recruiting cosplayers for your next video.
Yep.
So it really just kind of fell into place for different things, and me kind of begging a little bit and trying to make it easy on people, and costume rental, like a lot of the costumes were our own actually, and then anything I didn't have, I actually rented from a theater because I wanted the higher production quality, So the Star Trek shirts were actually rented. None of it, I didn't really know anybody with like good-looking Star Trek shirts like that, or the kind of medieval warrior one with the elf girl, that one. She had that dress, but Keith didn't. I mean, we didn't have anything that looked like that, or the sword, or actually, we did have the sword. That was our sword.
Yeah.
Of course, we're nerds. We have medieval.
My brother keeps a sword in the trunk of his car at all times, so I know how that goes.
We have replica. Yeah, there we go. That's
every nerd's got a sword within arm's reach.
Cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Nate here has a replica Legolas knives from Lord of the Rings. I really wanted to put those in there somehow, but they weren't really relevant. So so filmed that. Actually had to go to Oklahoma for like a week to film something else, and so that pushed it back even further, like the production and all that. I filmed the Harley Quinn Joker scene like the Monday after I got back from that, and that was like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I finished editing this probably a week ago Sunday.
Oh, wow.
And then I threw it up on Tuesday once I had like really polished it, kind of previewed it for a couple of friends, was like, am I done with this? What's interesting is before I actually like posted it on Facebook, and I put out a little like a spiel before the link, like, well, I've been working on this for 2.5 months. Thanks to all these people for coming out and helping. Like, this is the fruit of our efforts. Like, here it is, finally, the music video done. Like, not a lot of people knew I'd even been working on this, like, at all, except for the people involved. And so, but before I actually like hit enter, I actually like just sat there and looked at it for like 5 minutes. Like, am I ready to drop this? Like, I've been working on it for so long. Like, is there anything I need to tweak? Like, am I really cool with this? And it was literally like 5 minutes, like 5 solid minutes. That was just like, well, like, here it is. Here goes nothing, and it's just like, this could either like do really well or completely flop, whatever. Like, here we go.
Did you even have any idea of what kind of potential this video when you hit that enter button?
You always hope.
Right.
Those visions in your mind of where this could end up, which is fun. Yeah, I have connections to somebody else who ended up on Good Morning America because they were in a viral video and things like that. So it was like, man, it'd be sweet if somehow this got connected to national, like stuff like that. And then 2 days later, it's shown on Good Morning America.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, and when it showed up on Reddit, I saw it that morning, and I think at that time you had a handful of subscribers to the YouTube channel. I think there was somewhere in the neighborhood of about 4,000 views, at least what was shown publicly, about 4,000 views at that time. And, we're 6 days later, and you've got nearly 1,000 subscribers to your channel now, and you've got nearly 500,000 views. How's that make you feel?
It's pretty crazy and awesome. It's been a wild 5 days, I'll tell you that. Because like you said, I posted it about 7, 8 o'clock Tuesday night because a friend told me, who's in media marketing, and he told me months ago for something totally unrelated. He's like, if you're ever going to post something publicly on Facebook, do it in the evening because that's when everybody's on. 6, 7 o'clock, that's when you'll get kind of the most views and hits on things.
Yeah.
So I did that. I actually posted the video at 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and then I didn't actually post it on Facebook till that evening. Because I wanted to make sure the channel was set up correctly. Because I actually started a whole new channel just for this, because this is a whole new level of work that I've done. And so if I wanted this to if this was going to do well, I wanted it to kind of set the standard for future work that I'll do. So this channel is now going to be this kind of quality and work that I put in.
Awesome.
It's not just oh yeah, now I'm gonna go shoot my friends jumping into cars out.
Right.
Well, I can't wait to see what you come up with next. I mean, that's one hell of a debut. Like I said, you can absolutely see the work you put into it.
Thanks.
There's so many. The first thing that came to my mind when I first listened to it was the old Weird Al riding nerdy video song. I don't know if you guys remember that or not.
Yeah,
and that one, I mean, it's got a Weird Al vibe to it, and it's fun. But yours is just flat good, as far as I'm concerned. And so, like I said, you can see it, and the video quality is good. The sound quality is amazing. You did a great job getting the lead singer. Your rap's amazing. Everything just sounds amazing. So, like I said, it shows through and through. I have to plug my wife will kill me if I don't bring this up too. But she was excited when she saw Keith. Is it Keith? Is that your friend that was in it with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a huge fan of the Sing-Off. And
there you
he
go.
was on that. So, and I actually, that's one of the few shows my wife and I will watch together. And she saw the video, and then I was like, that guy, he looks familiar to me. She's like, he looks familiar to me too. So I looked it up, and I was like, oh yeah, he was on the Sing-Off. And so she flipped out. So yeah, she's been a huge fan. So there you go, hon. You're in the podcast now.
There you go.
We want to talk to you about the comments, because we were talking about this before we got on air, about the string of comments that get a little bit brutal, and it amazes me, and Jake and I have talked about this in previous podcasts about how uptight people get about their nerd sacred cows, and I saw a lot of that in the comments of the video. What have your thoughts been on the positive and negative comments? How have you dealt with them? What are your thoughts on that?
Lighten up.
Enough said. It's perfect.
This was for fun. I can, and to an extent, I understand their viewpoint. Okay, nerds are kind of more could be, and I'm just, objectively stating, could be said to be more academic kind of smarty things, that kind of area. And then geeks could be more of the cosplay, video games, comic books type things. I don't know, but by some standards that could be it. But there's a lot of crossover space there, a lot.
Oh heck yeah.
So if you really want to start making racial comparisons about this stuff, you need to take a step back and unwind a little bit. Because, I mean, this isn't like do or die here. It's just for fun, like going out and bringing a whole bunch of people who have things in common together to get a good laugh. Like, that's it.
What I found really interesting, too, and I think it's a testament, at least I view it that way, as a testament to your capturing the nerd culture stuff, is the comment threads that started debating, first of all, wrong Star Trek uniform to be using a chess communicator, or, of course, we talked beforehand, the Konami code, altering the Konami code, but the one that seemed to really get some ground was there was a lot of back and forth about the merits or the good and bad of having matching wand cores, with the Harry Potter references, and it kind of got into this whole thing about what does that mean? Is it a reference to the person, or look at what happened with Harry and Voldemort, because it just kept going on, and it became less about criticizing you about that line, and more about people just doing what nerds do and debating. I mean, it's the classic Superman versus Batman kind of scenario playing out in the comment thread. So I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah. It's when I thought of that when I was writing the lyrics, I think that was one of the first lines I came up with, actually, because I was thinking of the various references. How would I get in Harry Potter? How would I get in Star Wars? How would I get in Lord of the Rings? Like some people have actually questioned, like, since they think I screwed up on some of the things, like the communicator on original Star Trek, which we've been trying to point out to all the haters, like, that's why it wasn't working.
Exactly.
Anyway.
That seemed pretty obvious to me. I don't understand why it was so hard for people to get.
Yeah, I don't either. Whatever. Anyway, so it was like, how am I going to get in all these references? And I was like, but in a funny way. Like, a video, and somebody threw out there a recent comment, I think from the last day or two, was like, how to get a viral video, just like throw in pop culture references, like that's it. And I was like, okay, like, how, you can't just make a video and just sit there and go Harry Potter, Star Wars, it's like, what? No, like, you have, you play with it, you bring people into inside jokes that they'll understand, So the wands thing, like, I was thinking, oh, it'd be funny if that was like a pickup line in the Harry Potter world. What core is your wand? Like that kind of idea. Like, that's where I got it. So I was like, oh, that could be a funny line for, like hitting on a nerd girl. So it's stuff like that.
Well, and I think, we hadn't really mentioned it, but I was thinking about this. One of the things that stood out because of the multiple times that I've watched the video, you start looking around in the background and stuff, and I think particularly with like the Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and some of that stuff, you have some very interesting locations that you shot on that are very, very much reminiscent of, like, I mean, it looked like you were in the courtyard of Hogwarts with some of the Harry Potter stuff, and even just the subtlety of I believe it was like some kind of blue support structure or something with Doctor Who in lieu of a TARDIS, all that kind of stuff that was real subtle, but it kind of sold that concept for me.
Yeah, I went location scouting, actually, for most of this, to find locations that would totally, like, legit pull off those different scenes, because, like I said, I wanted to do it right. I wanted to do it big, like we shot this at Hogwarts, or like we shot this at some sort of medieval place for, the Lord of the Rings stuff. Like, I wanted to have those scenarios just look like they were in those lands and such. And so I went and found a couple of those locations I stumbled upon, actually. The Harry Potter one was total luck. I had just gotten my camera and glide cam, and I was out just shooting random stuff at a location that I knew was pretty, and I hadn't actually shot there before. And so I went out there to just kind of practice, literally with the camera and stuff, and came across these beautiful courtyards, and then across the walkway was like these whole row of columns and vines, and it was just like all like stone and cement looking. I was like, this is perfect for the Harry Potter scene, you know, and so I was like, oh, I totally lucked out with that. And I didn't have to pay to do it there, which also helped. I don't think I had to pay anywhere, actually. That was one of the things. There was a better location for the Lord of the Rings, actually. There's this, like, totally fantasy-looking fairy tale place here in Utah Valley that I wanted to shoot at because it's got, like, all the structures, like, oh, it looks something out of, like, Tolkien. I wanted it so bad, and I called them, actually, to try and shoot there, and they're like, yeah, we have to charge you, unfortunately, because they have like wedding receptions in there and stuff. Like that's their thing, is like they look these parts, and so they can charge money for people to come and do stuff there. So I was like, screw it, I can find somewhere else. So I went and got that archway thing with the Lord of the Rings stuff. That arch and is actually, yeah, it's a friend's house, kind of behind and to the side, and their neighbors have that awesome looking fence that looks like something out of Zelda, and their backyard is just like the mountains, and it was just like, okay, yeah, this will work. So nice. and yeah, and there's this awesome back alley thing here that's got like, it looks like downtown New York or Chicago or something. That's where I shot the Joker scene. It's got like the faded like graffiti on the wall and everything, and so I just, yeah. Oh, the TARDIS thing with the Doctor Who, yeah, that was total luck. Just to the side of where we filmed all the big group dance stuff. I literally just pulled him over. It was like a gigantic shop vac thing. Yeah, it's like a dust collector from a shop vac thing, and that's the support. Huh. So I just stuck Doctor Who up against the wall and was like, I'll just film you right here real quick.
It worked.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I noticed too, as I was watching the video yet again before the show here, I want to see if I got this right. I was wondering how many different parts you played yourself in the video. And I've got you pegged as the obvious, you know, you're in the Star Trek uniform, Captain Kirk, the Joker, a Jedi, and I'm pretty sure you were Gandalf.
Yeah.
Did I get all of them?
Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, I was Gandalf too.
It took me a couple views to figure that out.
I made that Gandalf robe for this shoot. I was looking up stuff online, and there was going to be like $50-$60 for a Gandalf robe, and I was like, screw it. I know how to sew. I went to Joann's, bought $13 worth of gray fabric, literally cut it into a box, cut 2 box arms, and sewed it together.
Yeah, nice.
And I got to comment, because it seems like every time you're talking about something, there isn't very much that you can't do or that you don't do in terms of sewing and songwriting and rapping, and you DJ and you've been doing film and video and
I have an engineering degree.
Yeah, you officially suck now, because you've done more, and I'm guessing you're half my age about that. You've done about 3 times as much, so.
Congrats.
Well, good on you. That's pretty freaking awesome.
I've been called a jack of all trades before.
I gotta say too, I'm just impressed with the excitement and joy you seem to get out of it. So that's, you know, yeah. So many people. I'll be honest with you. You know, anytime I come across somebody who does something like this, especially when it has to do with nerd culture, I still am a little bit shied away from the acceptance in the mainstream culture. So there's always that part of the back of my head that's like, this, you know, but this guy's a jerk, and he's just, you know, it's just a game that, you know, playing. So it's pretty awesome to see that, you know, you actually do enjoy this. And I figured that was the case with the video, but there's always that old man in the back of my head that wants to think. So, you know, you can really see the passion in the work and talking to you tonight. So you know, again, I commend you on that. So. I know you got a pretty tight schedule here. You're running up on the time limit here. I know Ron's been sitting patiently there listening to the rest of us talk. Is there anything you wanted to add, Ron?
No, it's been great. I mean, anytime I see stuff like this, the thing that goes through my mind is just it just looked like it was a blast putting it together. And I mean, it just looked like it would have been fun to be part of it. So, I mean, was there anything that was like hard or that wasn't enjoyable, or was it all just as fun as it looked?
Most of it was pretty enjoyable. I was a little worried that I was asking everybody for their time. This was gonna just totally flop, you know. It was one of those things, like kind of in the back of my head, like I've put so much work and time and gathered everybody, and then it flops, and they're like, oh yeah, Keith's idea was kind of dumb, you know, like that thing, that worry that happens. And so it was like I tried to make it as easy as possible on everybody else, so they wouldn't have, you know, been upset if anything bad happened. Like shooting around Keith's schedule, you know, on Saturday when we're running around a different location shooting, you know, at Lord of the Rings stuff, and then, hey, can you costume change? And we run over here for literally like 15 minutes since we're on a tight, you know, like I need to get you back for work, you know, and we'll shoot all the Harry Potter stuff really fast, and you know, like, and so it was a little stressful in times like that. And the other one was like, will anybody actually show up for my big dance scene that I wanted? And I was like, because it'll look kind of dumb if there's like 2 people, like, yay. I would have liked to have more people, but you know, you do what you can, and it turned out pretty fun. They had a blast filming it too, and now they're obviously pretty happy they're all involved. So,
well, you definitely came strong out of the gate.
Yeah.
The bar is high, unfortunately, or fortunately.
Oh,
but
yeah. 2 things about that. One, like I said, I've actually been doing this for like several years, and this is the first time that I've, you know, kind of set the bar for myself of how much work I'm going to put into this, and you know, the details I'm going to put in, and things like that, which is why I started a new channel for it, so that I can set a new precedence. But this isn't like something that just happened overnight, you know, like something like, oh, this is your first YouTube video, like, oh man, you're going to do great. And it's like, well, except for the music video that I put up last year and the music video I put up the year before that on a different channel, you know, like just fun stuff that I put up, not serious at all. You know, it's like when you get serious about something you love, like, and you take the time to do it right, like all of a sudden, you know, you've already had years of experience. You're not just kind of coming out of the gate on it. But at the same time, now I've set the bar really high for myself, and everybody's like, hey, what are you going to do next? And I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to top this.
Well, I can guarantee you that we'll be watching, and you know, when you're at the big YouTube video conferences accepting awards and wherever, you know, the Grammys or whatever it is, just remember the big bearded nerds. We'll be keeping an eye on you, and we'll want to talk to you again with future projects, I'm sure.
I've got a question for you guys now about this.
All right.
I've got subscribers building up, and I've got like 1,100, I think almost 1,200 now, actually. And I never asked for subscribers. That's actually one of never put like or subscribe. Mm-hmm. They're just going, which is cool. But I feel like, and from your guys' point of view, are you guys and are the fans, are other people expecting like more nerdy things from me or parody things or funny things? Because it's like I wasn't really like set on doing like a whole lot of like straight nerdy stuff in a row. Like this is going to be a nerdy channel. It was like, oh, this would be a funny music parody for this specific song, you know? And so it's something that I'm familiar with, having grown up on Lord of the Rings and Super Nintendo, you know, Chrono Trigger and RPGs and things like that. And so it's like, what precedent did I set for myself? Like funny parody videos, nerdy.
I think you need to do what you want to do and what you will have the most fun doing, and that's what's gonna. It's the passion and the drive that makes it good.
Yeah.
And I mean, Jake and Ron and I have been doing stuff like this, and we've never had any modicum of success compared to what you've got. But we started this our podcast and our website just in the past 6 months, just because we were like, well, what the hell do we like doing? Let's go do that, you know. And that's what'll make it good.
Yeah.
And the people that enjoy quality are the ones that you want to have anyways. You're gonna piss some people off that are gonna be like, oh man, you were supposed to keep doing nerdy stuff. I'd rather see you do good stuff that's enjoyable.
And I gotta agree with Dwight on that. You know, yeah, you came out with a solid nerd reference piece. I'm not expecting another nerd piece. I'm just expecting to see another piece of awesome. You know, whether you do some, you do more music videos, whether you do some, drama, comedy. You've got a theater background, so I'm sure you've dabbled in some of those different, the different genres. I'm just excited to see what kind of, this same production values and this same passion applied to a variety of projects. It's just that your passion shows through and is evident in the quality of the work. And I think, you're building up those subscribers because they do want to see what you're going to do next. And there's going to be some people, like Dwight said, they're going to be mad that you're not doing more nerd stuff. But as long as you keep doing what you want to do and what makes you happy, I think you're going to go a long ways, man.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, one of my favorite musicians recently did an AMA on Reddit, and I read through it, and one of the things they said really stuck out to me, and it's kind of, and it happened kind of in school too, but it's kind of stuck in my mind since they said it. Pegboard Nerds, actually, speak of the devil, Pegboard Nerds. They're like an electronic group that I really like. They were kind of answering questions about how would aspiring DJs and musicians and such kind of break through the scene, and they said quality always stands out.
Yep.
And so I was like, so many people just kind of crank out something to try and get something out there. And so that's why I took the time to make this one right, because I was like, I don't want this one to just kind of get cranked out. I want it to be like, and I have to address this. A bunch of the naysayers out there are like, oh, you stole this from blah blah blah, or this YouTube channel, or this YouTube channel. And actually, when I thought of when I saw Talk Nerdy to Me and thought of the idea to do the parody video, I was like, I wonder if there are any out there already. And there were actually a couple. There weren't a ton. There were only like I said, this is back in February. There were only a couple, and I was like, I can do way better than that. Like, and they don't have like a patent on it or anything. It's just like I can do that better and like really make people happy with it. I'm gonna do it. Like, I didn't take their idea. I kind of thought of it myself. Hey, look, multiple people have the same ideas. Happens all the time. And then one of the major YouTube people dropped theirs right in the middle of my production, and somebody brought it up to me. They're like, "Oh, Keith, hey, I just dropped a Talk Nerdy to Me parody, and they've got 400,000 subscribers already." And I was like, whatever. I didn't even watch it. I didn't care because I was like, I'm making mine, and now mine is bigger than theirs.
I noticed that.
It's because yours is better than theirs, though. And I won't
is.
name any names, but we've seen it, and I actually found myself getting like pissed off on your behalf, reading some of the comments of them. This is a whiny little, oh, so and so did it first. Well, guess what? They did it better, and better wins. So, it's just you're right, and quality counts. Being first being first helps, but it does not always win. So,
as my friends were saying, you think Apple was the first to invent the MP3 player?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, I mean, look at all of any popular song or any popular culture thing that's out there. You're going to see just an abundance of. I mean, how many different versions of Let It Go or Let It Be or whatever from Frozen are out there, So if you're rising to the top of just a handful of these, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So it's been fun. I what was it? I think it was yesterday. Last night is when I took the top parody spot for this, and I was like, I did it.
Awesome.
Like,
man. Yeah, we just wanted to say thank you so much for sitting in with us. It was awesome talking to you.
Like I said, you were first to contact me, and I was like, what? This isn't big yet.
Yeah. We didn't care about big, but we just saw good, and then it got big after that. So, but
we greatly appreciate you taking the time to get with us tonight, and even setting up. We didn't mention it at all until just now, but that's the Iron Man from the video is behind you this whole time.
Mm-hmm. Handmade by your roommate, you said?
Yep.
That's freaking awesome.
Real quick. This is Iron Man.
What's up?
Hey, great job, man.
Thank you.
Great job on the Iron Man costume and the Iron Man dancing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm not much of a dancer, so it's good that was just like a short clip of me, because
Yeah.
better time.
We'll let you guys go. I know you got to get going, but just wanted to plug you. I know we didn't get a chance to talk much about where the video is, but can you tell our viewers where to find that video on YouTube? What's
All
the
you
name of
gotta
the channel?
type in "Talk Nerdy" to me,
Okay.
and I am the first result.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. That's it for Big Bearded Nerds this week. Thanks again to Ron for sitting in. Everybody out there, you can follow us on Twitter at Jacob W. Norman or at Kung Fu Ike, and on Facebook at facebook.com/BigBeardedNerds. Drop us a comment, like, and share. Let us know what you think about K-Face's video. We think it's pretty awesome. Let us know what you think about it. Thanks again, guys, for stopping in. We really appreciate it. Have a great night.
Yeah, thank you. You guys have a good one.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.